And we welcome you back to Nutmeg Sports here on the HAN Network. Frank Granito and Donald Ang in studio today, and we are joined now by the wrestling and football coach of Warren Harding High School. That is Eddie Santiago. Coach, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having us.
Now, obviously, if you've seen it in the Connecticut Post or you heard yesterday on WGCH radio, the wrestling program, along with several other Bridgeport school programs, has been cut due to some of the state budget cuts. Coach, can you explain where exactly these budget cuts are coming from for us?
Well, we know that the city's in a big deficit right now, and we knew cuts were going to come, and we were not getting the state funding that is needed to support our city at the moment, and we were at the tail end of that. We were one of the sports that offer wrestling in Bridgeport, and no other school offers it, so they were cutting out most of these individual sports like indoor track, wrestling, and some of those other sports.
And we saw that along with some of the boys and girls tennis at Central with lacrosse. You had golf and indoor track and cross country like you mentioned. It's really a shame. But you guys have set up a goal. You're working through a GoFundMe page. Who's at the helm of that helping you out?
Well, we were going to start the camp with Detective Kelly reached out to me at a parade, and he wanted to throw a camp for the inner city. And literally like 2 days after speaking with him, I got the phone call that the budget was going to be cut. And, you know, Detective Kelly really went after it and set up the GoFundMe for us. And he took the helm. He's running the camp here at Harding, the 3-day camp. We have high-caliber talent coaches coming by. Olympic wrestler Andy Sears will be here tomorrow. We had the Wesleyan head coach came this afternoon. Jason Shaughnessy, head coach at Fairfield Warrior, and the success he's had with his program. So we got some high-caliber talent coming to our camp this week.
Yeah, Coach, you mentioned a lot of the talent coming to the camp, a lot of the fundraising. It seems like the wrestling community is really rallying around this program. Is it something? Is that kind of a unique aspect of wrestling that where, like, you know, you guys are competitors, but you're also wrestlers, and there's a certain sense of community to that group?
Yeah, I think we all understand it's a tight-knit community, and our sport, the sport of wrestling, doesn't get that big-time exposure compared to, you know, the basketball, football, and things that are more in the limelight. So the wrestling community really understands that, hey, we got to help out and give back and save this program. And they've come together. It's so tremendous to see all these coaches and all these alumni come back and start a team to get this money back into our program and help these kids out. These kids are in need. They are working their butts off every day. You know, our coaches do a great job here of buying food and all that, and transportation, all that stuff that goes into it really comes out of my staff's pockets. And they're taking a hit also because, you know, that part of that is going to be the salary cuts with it. And we were just in a tough position right now, but we think we could raise the money and make this thing really take off.
Now, Coach, you talked about how hard your players are working to make sure that they're going to have a season next year. Obviously, we want to see them be able to compete athletically, and we want to see them. I mean, you're just 2 years removed from having a state champion on your roster. But what role does
it was last year. It was actually last year. David Bass won it last year at 195 and won it before at 182 for us, and our numbers have really swelled.
Yeah, no, excuse me, I'm sorry, that's right. It was last year, it was Avery Bass. But what role does wrestling play in the lives of these kids in this inner city, you know, environment now where they're being having that taken away from them?
Well, you know, we got tough demographics here, and the city is a tough place to grow up in. I'm a direct product of the program itself, and just self-esteem and feeling good about yourself and doing something positive. This is something positive that these kids to grasp and really get after it. And me being the football coach, I was able to get more players to participate in the wrestling program, and these sports complement each other. And so our football team is really our wrestling team. So, you know, this is some way that we keep all of our players engaged through the winter, and we've had tremendous success recently, and they really enjoy it. They come to these facilities and they never really want to go home. You know, some of these kids have tough lives at home. They'd rather be here and it keeps them off the street. We're saving lives. We're saving 25 to 30 lives in the winter that are not out there in the street getting into any trouble that they may be able to have access to that, you know, the community is based around. There's a lot of violence in our city. There's a lot of things going on, but this is one of the few things in our city that's highlighted that's really, really good and that's taken off in the recent years.
You know, Coach, I wanted to piggyback on that because knowing that, knowing the circumstances that a lot of these kids come from, and knowing that athletes, in season and athletes in general, tend to have higher grade point averages and do better academically in schools than their peers do. I mean, this is a program that keeps kids off the streets, gives them direction, and it's not that much money. I mean, how much are we talking about here? Just let the listeners know.
It's 18 grand. To run the program completely. It's the cheapest sport. There's really no overhead but the transportation and salaries, janitor's fees, and security fees, and all that stuff combined is a bulk of $18,000. But just like you said, you know, these kids, man, they come from a tough home, and maybe this is the one hand that they're holding on to that gets them up out of bed every day and gets them to the school. And the success that we had on the field and on the mat, we have 11 of our 12 seniors that graduated, that are in college right now, that are playing at the next level, and we have one in the military. So, you know, this is a way for kids to come back and really make Harding's graduation rate soar. We're helping that. We're helping that cause because we believe in Harding. We believe in our administrators here. But we need, like I said, we need help.
And Coach, you made a great point. It helps Harding's graduation rate, which you can't say enough. But it's also now, you look at, you've got the GoFundMe page going on, you've got the camp going on, and the support has already been obvious. What are the other steps you guys are going to take in order to accomplish that goal of $18,000?
We got to continue to work, keep networking, keep shaking hands. Our kids do a lot of community service. So it's important for us to be in the know and give back. We're not asking for just a handout here. We want you to know that our kids are involved in the community. Actually, this Thursday, we'll be participating with the fire department, painting fire hydrants on the east end of their town, you know, and that within itself, right there, you know, getting that exposure with our fire department and the police department. I forgot to fail to mention them. They're part of the biggest piece that's the driving force for saving the camp. The police department has directly affected the program, and they stepped up so much. Detectives Kelly's have brought many officers into the camp, and there have been just great support by our police department, and I'm very ecstatic about that.
Now, Coach, if someone wants to get involved and help out, you said we mentioned there's a GoFundMe page. What's the address?
Yep, it's at WHHS Presidents. That's the Twitter page.
So WHH.
And you can go to any of our coaches on Facebook. We've been sharing it all week, so you could go there and find it also.
And the actual GoFundMe page is called Save Harding Wrestling. They raised almost $1,000 in their first 2 days. We will see that number continue to rise. Coach, if there's anything else you wanted to say to those who are listening out there about how else they can get involved or what they can do to show their support, please let us know.
I would like for anybody out there that's listening, if you could stop by tomorrow and see the camp and see the amount of kids that are out there working. And we have an Olympic wrestler coming tomorrow, Andy Sayre, so it's going to be a fun event. The more we raise the awareness, the more we give the exposure, the better off we're going to be.
And give us the time and location of that camp again for the listeners.
It's at Warren Harding High School. The camp runs from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m.
And we've actually, Coach, we've got up on the screen right now. It is your GoFundMe page. We can see that you are up to $2,000+ now. You've had 34 people who have donated in just the 3 days it has been up. So you guys are definitely trending in the right direction. I do want to ask, Coach, because obviously you guys left the FCAC last year. You're now in the CSC, and that's a bigger travel commitment than being in the FCAC and just ranging from Greenwich to Bridgeport. Does that travel hurt the budget of the wrestling program compared to when you were in the FCAC?
Slightly, I would say so, yes. But, you know, the one thing about the wrestling program, our schedule is kind of open. And like we said, the wrestling community is a real tight-knit community. And I have a lot of friends that, you know, I was still able to get those FCAC matches. You know, we go right down the street to Ward with Jason Shaughnessy. We go to various other tournaments that are local here at Ludlow. So it's just, I guess I would say it's just more of the, it would be about the same, if you know, but we do travel more to Hartford, so it might increase that transportation rate.
Right. Hey, Coach. Last thing from me here before we let you go. You did mention that the Harding football and wrestling team, how close knit they are. You know, camps opened yesterday for teams that did not have spring practice. How are the Warren Harding Presidents looking this year? Are we looking at a return to the state playoffs? And also, can you tell us what it was like at the school last year, having that playoff run for the football team?
Again, I start with the way excuse me, there's out here. But the way it worked out with Xavier winning that first state championship at 182, he was kind of the driving force, and his leadership skills were great for us. And it really drove us to go to that 10-0 season and make that playoff run, and gain that success. And I think this year we're just as good as a football team as we were last year. And that may shock some people that, you know, Harding football is a program now, and it's a brand. And we're excited about this season. We got Eric Jones, our quarterback, this year. We lost Tyson Pumajan, but we have an excellent senior quarterback taking the helm this year.
Well, you don't go 10-0 by fluke, Coach, and we very much expect to see Harding back in the mix at the top of their state class and competing again. We want to thank you for coming on. Again, everyone, it's Save Harding Wrestling is the GoFundMe page. It's at WHHS Presidents is the Twitter account if you'd like to find more information. Coach, thank you again, and we wish you the best of luck, and hopefully we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us.